the giant turnip and the two brothers. Once upon a time, at the edge of a small village, there lived two brothers who shared a crooked little cottage and a patch of stubborn soil. The older brother Borin was stern and stingy, with a voice like a shovel hitting stones. The younger brother Leo was gentle and cheerful, with hands that hummed when they worked, and a laugh that warmed the air. Spring came late that year, frost clung to the fields, and the wind bit like a fox. The brothers sowed what seeds they had, turnips mostly, because turnips were tough and true. "Plant them close," Borin muttered, "so none is wasted." Leo only smiled and spaced the seeds kindly. "Everything needs room to grow," he said, and patted the soil as though it were a sleeping child. Rain was scarce. The creek ran thin as a thread, and the clouds were stingy as Borin. Each evening, Leo carried buckets from the far well, whispering thanks to the water. Each morning, Borin counted the sprouts and grumbled at weeds as if they were thieves. One dawn, Leo noticed a single turnip leaf that gleamed greener than the rest, bright as a parrot's feather. "Look at this brave one," he told Borin. "We should care for it." "A weed?" Borin sniffed. "Pull it." But Leo could not. He knelt, loosened the soil, and tucked the leaf in again as if tucking a blanket. "Grow, if you wish," he said. Days stretched, and the leaf became a bouquet. The bouquet became a bushel. The bushel became a towering crown of leaves. Beneath the earth, something swelled and swelled until the ground lifted like a bread loaf in the oven. The village began to whisper. "Have you seen the brothers' field? The earth there is breathing." Even Borin's eyes widened. He poked the soil with a stick, and the stick bounced back. "It's a rock," he declared. But when Leo brushed away the dirt, they glimpsed skin the color of butter and ivory. Turnip skin, impossibly smooth, impossibly huge. "A giant turnip," Leo gasped. "A fortune," Borin breathed. They tried to pull it at once. Borin wrapped a rope around the leafy crown and heaved until his boot sank. The turnip did not budge. Leo leaned his shoulder in and pushed, but the turnip only sighed deeper into the earth, content as a sleeping whale. "More strength," Borin grunted. "We'll get the neighbors." "More friends," Leo said softly. "We'll get everyone." The next morning, they came in a line. The baker with flour on his sleeves, the miller with flour in his beard, the teacher with chalk on her cuffs, the children with giggles in their pockets. They grabbed the rope and pulled. "Hooey!" And the turnip answered, "No." "Let me try a trick," said the old wise woman. She tied the rope in a special weaving knot for stubborn things and spoke to the soil in the language of roots. The turnip quivered, but stayed. "Not enough," Borin grumbled. "We need muscle." "We need kindness," Leo said, and he went to fetch the animals. He returned with a plodding ox, a bristly pig, a polite goat, a shaggy dog, a marmalade cat, and a mouse with whiskers like moonlight. The ox leaned into a yoke, the pig wedged his snout under the bulb, the goat nibbled weeds that tangled the leaves, the dog barked encouragement, the cat held the rope with clever paws, and the mouse, smallest of all, scrambled into a tiny tunnel and tickled the turnip's belly where no one else could reach. "On three!" cried Leo. "1, 2, 3!" The earth popped. The rope snapped taut. A rumble shook the hill, and with a magnificent squelch, the giant turnip burst free, leaping into the air like a whale cresting a golden sea. It came down with a thump that rattled buttons and teeth and sent everyone tumbling into a laughing heap. They circled the prize, shining and huge as a moon. "We'll be rich," Borin said, nearly smiling. "We'll sell it slice by slice." Leo looked at the gathered faces, tired farmers, hungry children, the wise woman's kind eyes. "We could share," he said, "just this once." Borin's mouth flattened. He had counted coins in his head, tall as towers. But the ox was licking the turnip hopefully, the mouse was patting it proudly, and the people were humming with joy, warmer than money. Borin cleared his throat. "We will share," he said, and the words surprised him by feeling good in his mouth. They rolled the turnip to the village square, where pots were set upon fires and knives flashed like fish. The baker stirred a turnip stew with thyme and cream. The miller ground seeds to thicken it. The teacher read stories while it simmered. The children danced in a ring, and the animals dozed in the shade. When the stew was ready, they ladled it into bowls. It tasted like sunshine after rain, sweet, earthy, and brave. Leo filled bowls first for the oldest and smallest. Borin, without being asked, carried a brimming pot to the cottage of a widow who could not walk to the square. Every time he returned, his steps grew lighter. By twilight, the giant turnip was gone, transformed into full bellies and easy laughter. The stars came one by one as if drawn by the smell of kindness. The wise woman tapped the ground with her staff. "Where roots meet many hands," she said, "miracles grow." From then on, the brothers changed. Borin still counted, but he counted people first. He learned to lend tools and return with thanks. Leo still laughed, but he laughed louder when Borin laughed too. They planted their field not close to save, but wide to share, leaving paths where children could run and mice could travel safely. Each harvest, they set one row aside as a friend row. Whatever grew there belonged to the village. Years later, when the soil had yielded pumpkins like lanterns and carrots like horns and beets like hearts, none surpassed the legend of the giant turnip. Yet the people agreed. The true giant was not the vegetable at all, but the day when a village pulled together and discovered that the smallest mouse and the sternest man could tug the same rope and bring a miracle to light. As for Borin and Leo, they kept the rope that had pulled the turnip, frayed, knotted, and stained with earth, hanging over their cottage door. Visitors would touch it for luck. And when children asked how the turnip had grown so huge, Leo would wink and say, "Because we left it room." Borin would add, quietly but proudly, "And because we shared." And the soil, hearing such talk, smiled and made ready to grow wonders again.